Boom. There Nick is. Wow. Look at all beautiful.
Holy smokes.
Hey, thanks for battling through this the issues with us as we try to figure this out. And then to the right of him, we have Ray. Welcome back from Sacred Ministries. Appreciate having you, sir.
Thank you.
And you guys may remember the famous, the good looking, the ever devoir
the old man,
Sean Mills, joining us as well as part of Sacred Ministries. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Will.
All right. And then rounding out the end table there, we've got the one and the only David Rudolph showing us what's going on with that new hat. David, tell us a little about that hat. What is that right there?
Well, I'm a big
it's a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I'm a big cowboy hat guy, as you guys know, but I've always had difficulty getting the headphones on over the other hat, so this one works a little better. But yeah, we've got a good brand partnership with these guys out of Louisiana, so we'll talk about that in the next episode for sure.
Awesome. And really, guys, we're not going to have a long podcast or a long show tonight. We just wanted to announce a couple of things. We had a great show last night. You guys will catch that on YouTube and Spotify beginning tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, technical difficulties eliminated about half the video, but that's okay. We figured it out. We know that won't be an issue moving forward. But we've got two things that we're going to start putting together now moving forward. As I see comments rolling in, let's address those. Where did he get that hat? I want one. Well, we're going to tell you all about that. You're just going to have to stay tuned till the end of the show, but we appreciate you pitching in on the little action there, Miss Nina Clevenger.
I wasn't sure if it was your Nina or my Nina.
Yeah, right. If it was one of them, that would be great. As long as somebody's commenting and listening, right?
It's fine.
All right. So what we're talking about tonight is we're going to roll out 2 new live shows that we're going to start doing every Tuesday and Wednesday. So hopefully I get a lot better at this switcher as I try to continuously bounce it back and forth between everybody so that we can see what's going on. But first one I'm going to talk about is one that we're working specifically with Sean and of course Ray. And we're going to call that episode is going to be called Sacred Conversations on Guys Night. So I brought these 2 gentlemen here with us so that they can kind of share a little bit about what the idea of this is going to be. For me personally, it was an idea of us being able to give gentlemen in the community an opportunity to find that higher power, to better themselves, to improve themselves, to get through the struggles of things like addiction, everyday life, the fight back after a divorce or ever losing custody of your kids, all the different things that men struggle with on a day-to-day basis that, we might have big shoulders, but it doesn't mean it's always easy. And it's very easy to find crutches to fall back on. So, Ray, let's move to you and just kind of tell us a little about what you're hoping to accomplish.
Basically, it's just going to be, again, giving that support, kind of direction and following your higher power and whatever that may be. And mine, of course, is Christ. And, one of the things that was really difficult for me was I was told when you quit drinking, life is going to get so much better. And in the first year of my sobriety, I lost a $250,000 house. I lost my truck, my job, custody of my kids. I was indicted for 11 felonies. That's an interesting story of taking the police with you to your residence. But we'll go into that another time. My grandmother passed away. And, I'm facing all of these things and I'm like going to my sponsor, like, what's going on, dude? You told me if I quit drinking, my life would get better. My life's falling apart. When I was drinking and using, everything was good, and, those are just the trials and things. And, figuring out that other than my grandmother passing away, I've set everything into motion during my drunken and using time, and just dealing with that and hanging and clinging to my sobriety. In the program, it's one day at a time, but it could be a minute at a time, and the good thing is the coping skills where you can start your day over, or you can, have that support group, make sure you got enough friends, you got enough people, you got enough meetings, and just taking preparation, having all those avenues open to you. And those are the things that we want to give guys. So
Yeah, and I think it's important too. You know, we're going to talk about higher power, and obviously Jesus was your path. And Sean, we're going to talk to you a little bit too, because that
Yeah.
was obviously your path. And you guys are doing sacred ministries together. This is kind of something that you guys have projected on, and plan to kind of I guess give people an opportunity to find that higher power their own way, right? Not necessarily a specific church's way or a specific book's way or a specific meeting, but really just letting guys out there know that if they need help, there should be a place to go without having to feel a certain way. Am I right?
Absolutely. You know, a lot of churches, their motto is everybody's welcome, and which is a great thing. But then you start getting into the hypocrisy of certain things and aspects and roles. And the whole point is you are so fragile when you're first sober or you're fresh out of jail, and that can make or break you. And if you don't have that support of a good people around you, and people are pointing their finger or telling you maybe you don't belong here, you know, that's not how we should be responding. You know, we should be treating everybody like Jesus told us, love your neighbor as yourself. He sat with prostitutes, sinners, tax collectors. You know, it's like he told the Pharisees, it's not the healthy that need a doctor, it's the sick. And that's what we are. We're spiritually sick. And we just need to support that and bring them to their higher power, which, again, personally, I would hope it would be Christ. You know, AA, I can't say anything bad about it. It gave me my life back and gave me a life. But your higher power, you're doing for right here, right now, which is, again, where you need to be. Because if you're in the past, the devil's got you. If you're worried about the future, the devil has you. But right here, right now, what about eternity? You know, as long as I'm doing a good thing and plugging along and not hurting anybody, but there's more to it than that. So mine kind of goes beyond the physical realm into eternity. But the first focus and key aspect of what we want to do is just help the people right now in physical and get that under control and get them comfortable.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, so are you guys is it like a church or is it like an AA type of thing, or is it both?
All of the above.
Yeah. Do you have like sermons or mass or anything like that, or do you do like a Sunday service or something?
No, not technically. That's something that I haven't discussed with Sean yet, but like I go to 5 different nursing homes. I preach, do sermons there, baptize, communion and whatnot. We both serve at Grafton Prison with Prison Fellowship. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, every Wednesday, you know, we get the luxury and the benefit. We get to volunteer at Grafton Prison, and we're doing Celebrate Recovery, which is spiritual AA kind of thing, and you know, it's based on the principles straight out of the Bible, which are very similar to the 12 steps in AA. And you know, we have a video and we talk about it, and we break up into small groups, and you know, I get about 10 or 12 guys in my group, and we just go over that topic for that today. If they want to share, they want to work on anything that might happen that day or questions. I usually just feedback things that have happened in my life that maybe they'll grab a hold of. Obviously, God's kept me out of prison, but there's things that happen in my life. I was, you know, spent some time in prison, and God's kept me out of there. You know, like what Ray was saying, for me, we want to offer a place where somebody can go talk to somebody that's having a struggle. Not necessarily, we don't have we both belong to Heartland Church. You know, they can call if there's a group or whatever. If you're not in prison, obviously, that. Well, I you know, God just came to me, or I allowed him in my heart. I mean, he was there. I didn't go to a place and like, I feel safe. I feel safe everywhere I go because I know God in my heart and what he's done for me and turn my life around and give up everything to God, not just my drinking, but, you know, my love life, my sex life, my just anything, any work life, you know, whatever it is, you know, I run everything through him first.
Sure. And I think, you know, I think the idea of bringing sacred conversations at guys' night is just letting know that like when you're out there struggling and when you have all these things going on, like church might be the end goal for some. Maybe it's not. It's different for everybody. AA might be the end goal, and we're just talking strictly kind of on the addiction level right now, or alcoholism and things like that. But even on in everyday life, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, man, who do I just talk to when I'm having a bad day? Like, obviously, you know, you can bring things up to your spouse at home and things like that, but really, as the man of the household, like that's not where you're supposed to lean on that struggle. And sometimes you don't even really need to lean on somebody. You really just need to fight through it, but maybe you want some guidance on where to go. And I think the idea is that we just want to be able to have that conversation on the show, Sacred Conversations. The goal is just to be able to have conversations about anything and everything that men could be struggling with on the day. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to bring in some different guests, to bring in some different people that want to, just have an open conversation. We hope that people will comment, on the YouTube videos. You got questions you want to ask these guys, these guys are more than willing to give out their cell phones, have a conversation with you, help you, on the side things of what's going on. But it's important that guys feel like they have a safe place to go on and do something like that.
Kind of like a spiritual counseling service type of thing.
Yeah.
Is that kinda like what you guys do? Yeah. Just for like a basic, definition or whatever.
Yeah, it's just trying to help somebody, and it's not necessarily give them any kind of advice, because I'm by far from any kind of psychiatrist or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's more or less if maybe they said something that I can kind of relate to, and it's not saying, well, this is what you should do, but in my life, when I had something similar happen, or maybe it's not even similar, but this is what I did in this situation when I felt cornered.
Yeah.
I've learned. I have a little over 4.5 years sobriety now, which is still infant stage in my mind, but I know I can't do this on my own. So I have a network. I have like 2 or 3 guys that I can call, outside of calling my pastor and things like that have like minds like me that deal with addiction or alcoholism. And it's like, I need help.
Yeah.
And not be scared to ask for help.
And it's you don't have to have a necessarily a degree to be a counselor, to give advice or help people out, so I think it's great. I think it's a good service. It sounds like a real niche thing, especially with like the inmates and stuff that you're helping and stuff. It's really cool.
I think I get way more back from them than they realize. I mean, I really
Absolutely.
do.
It's amazing how much like volunteering is rewarding to you. I've done a lot. I grew up Catholic, and I still go to Catholic mass and stuff. And I've volunteered throughout the church and stuff throughout my life. And it's always the same thing. Like, you go volunteer to do something and you get way more out of it than the people you're helping.
Well, it's just life in general, right? Like, it's as funny as at my the barber shop today. My wife is cutting my hair, and before I got up there,
Did she make you pay for it?
No.
Okay.
No,
One way or another.
she don't want to get taxed on that.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, but one of her clients was up there, and this guy's, I don't know, 85, 90 years old, cool dude. Their kids are all grown, don't live anywhere near here. And I'll never forget, it was like a Saturday, and obviously it's Saturday. I don't really want to do anything, but she's like, hey, can you go over and help cut this guy's tree down tomorrow or whatever? Like,
she volunteered.
but I was like, you know what? Like, hell, I don't mind. Like, if it was my own tree, I'd be like, go fuck. No, I don't want to. I don't want to go cut down my own tree tomorrow. Then I got to do this and this. So but once you do it, you're like, man, that dude, that probably helped him out a lot. It was funny. He comes out, sit on the front porch with me, talking about how much he loves Fox News or how much he hates this and hates that, and it's like, this dude's just happy to have somebody over here to talk with and stuff like that. So yeah, you leave there feeling pretty good. Like, man, it was awesome to talk to that guy. And now I get to feel a little bit better. Like, I did something to help somebody out without, something necessarily coming.
So let me make sure I get this straight. So you did pay for the haircut then?
Yeah. The tree service. Yeah.
One way or another, I'm always paying for the haircuts. But yeah, so the idea is we're going to roll this show out. We're going to start it tomorrow night. We're going to try to do it every night or not every night. I don't even have enough time in my schedule to do what we've been doing. Luckily, my work does not watch my live streams. But no, I think we're going to start tomorrow. We're going to try to do it on Tuesdays at 6:30. That'll be an opportunity for us to, start building that following. So if anybody's listening, and I see Dean out there, I know that this is something that he was struggling with, brother. Don't hesitate to give us a shout if you want to come in, talk about it one time, or even if you just want to comment some questions, whatever the case might be. We don't know names if we don't have to, but want people to have that safe place where they can have a conversation with whatever they're struggling on in life, and see if we can't help them a little bit, at least find their way, find their direction, and if not, point them to the right people that can, right?
Yeah, and if they can, if you have your listeners know maybe it's an episode for 2 or 3 weeks away. I know between myself and Ray, we know quite a few people that deal with all different kinds of, we can get them, try to ask to see if they can get on the show. And
yeah,
you know.
absolutely. That'd be awesome. I mean, anytime
Right.
we can bring anybody else in to bring some advice, and that goes for anything and everything regarding guys' night, right? The idea is to sit around the table, have conversations with men about shit that men do, men
Well-
say, and everything in between. And it's a safe spot, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, like, I told a couple episodes ago, I told that accidental AA story or whatever. where I accidentally went into a AA meeting. I was supposed to go to a different meeting, but realized about 30 minutes in I was in the wrong spot. But but it was cool, whatever. But I'll say, in my own personal life, like I actually, when I started bodybuilding, I gave up drinking, right? And I didn't realize how much of an effect it had on my life. Like I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, because I really had no problem just stopping. But I was drinking too much for sure, and my physique showed it. I was out of shape. I was fat. I was just not proud of the way I looked, and I felt, and I was unhealthy. So I gave it up and pretty much went cold turkey for like a year. And then like every once in a while I'd have like a glass of wine with my wife on our anniversary, or maybe a beer with my dad when he's in town or something like that. But half the time I don't even finish the beer anymore.
All
But I'll tell you, my life became way more productive after. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think, and I know people that are highly functioning alcoholics too, that they will
Right.
like they can drink all day every day and achieve a lot. And it's like, man, how are you? I just can't imagine like going from drinking quite a bit to not drinking at all anymore, really, except for like holidays and stuff.
Right.
I couldn't imagine being as productive as I am now. Like it'd be very difficult.
yeah, no, I thought I was doing pretty good for a while. I was like a high level functional alcoholic. But since I gave up drinking, I made a list on the way over here. Since I gave up drinking, these are all the bad things that happened to me.
That's a long
Yeah,
list.
long list.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I used to pride myself in my ability to drink a lot. Like, oh, nobody can outdrink me. I'm like, what, as if that's like something to really. If you think that's really something to brag about, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah,
I used
fine.
to.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I used to drink a bottle of Jack a night, and then I'd chug Adderall right after it, so I could last all night, and then I could make it up at 6 o'clock to work out in the morning. And I'm like, man, I was such a hard ass,
You're
but like,
Fucking sweating booze. Dude.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, and
Once
now
you went to sleep, you just didn't run right through and then go to the gym.
I'd sleep for like 2 hours.
No.
Dude, it was crazy. I look at that part of my life now. Don't get me wrong. Like I was like playing semi-pro football. I was working out twice a day. I was in great shape. But I look back at it, I'm like, how the fuck did I do that shit? Because now I could have 3 glasses of fucking bourbon, and then like the next day I'm like gonna
Feel like
fog
shit.
for the first 3 hours, and I'm like, now I got to do the Adderall, and if I want to do the Adderall, then I'm gonna have a downer later. I'm gonna feel like shit later tonight, and it's crashing. It's like I don't know how I functioned on that for so long, but yeah, no more. I'm not allowed to take Adderall anymore.
I don't even remember like the last time I got drunk. Like I've had drinks, but I haven't been drunk in probably 4 years. I would say, so
That's great.
maybe more than.
That's good.
I haven't had anything more than 2 drinks. I don't think at a time in probably 4 years.
And I just want to point out, I mean, I stopped drinking probably 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It's like you said about, I was always able to stop it. It was staying stopped
Yeah,
is where
that's
that
fair.
problem comes
Right.
in. And that's where a lot of us struggle of, whether you drink yourself into it, you're born with it in your DNA, your heredity, it doesn't matter. It's, you have that allergy in your body that you just need more and more and more. And there's no off button,
Mhm.
and it's terrible. I mean, what it does to you and does to your family.
What a waste of money too.
And
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a pay raise.
I'm telling you. So, I mean, this was 2008 when I quit drinking, and it was me and my ex, we tallied it up between just the alcohol and cigarettes. Now you don't get a prescription for 25 Vicodin a day and everything else that we were doing, but $1,100 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was back in 2008. That for beer, liquor, and cigarettes. That's a house payment, dude.
Mhm.
That's a 2 car payments. That's
That's like a week working at Chick-fil-A now.
Yeah.
No, those dudes are making money.
Dude, right? But you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, you
It's my
think
pleasure.
back at the amount of money that you spend on that stuff, and it's like
I got that one.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
That's my pleasure. Yeah. You ever see the skit where they're like, he doesn't say it, and then he's like, they come up, they pull up in the car, and they like grab him. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. They like throw him in the car, like they shoot him, and somebody else comes out, like it's my pleasure. You know, it's so funny.
I intentionally, when I go to Chick-fil-A, try and say thank you as many times
Just
as I
so you
can.
can hear
Like, in the interaction. My record is 9 my pleasures. By the way.
I'm gonna beat that next time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's a good
record
goal.
it. Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
a really good.
I mean, at the same point in time, you can't help but smile when you say thank you and you say nice things so much. So
Just
while
know
you're
it's
sitting
coming.
there, you know you're cheesing, but at the same point in time, you're like, man, I feel a lot better when I walk out of there. It's like when I walk into Starbucks. I read this thing the other day. They're like, he's like, whenever everybody says, hey, how you doing? And he says, great, I can't have a bad day. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna start saying that shit. And like, so now like I'll go to Starbucks and they're like, hey, have a great day. I was like, I can't have a bad one. I'm
Yeah.
like, I walk out of that place and I'm like, man, I feel like $1 million because I just said that. Plus, plus it sounded awesome.
Well, to be honest, too, like I mean, we're making fun of it, right? But it's actually probably a good thing, right? Like you feel good that they say something. Oh shit, nice to you. Oh, Italian, I mean, yeah. I'm Catholic. I'm knocking shit over. Yeah, so the tax accent's gonna come out soon. Anyways, but yeah,
Go
no,
like this.
yeah.
Say
What
that.
are you talking about? I'll see you at service on Sunday. Yeah, no, but yeah,
My
no,
pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, there's worse ways to run a business. One of my favorite pastimes, if you want another one, this is way more cynical though, is when I go to Starbucks and I see like a purple-haired fuck, I know it's super liberal, I make sure to tell them Merry Christmas. And then when they're like, they could just see him boil over. They're like, Happy Holidays, and I'm like, Merry Christmas. You know? I love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, so we've talked about sacred conversations. Anything that you guys want to add to that? Anything that you're, what the idea of the show is and what you want to bring to it? Anything else that we should add before we move on to the other one?
No. How about that?
just spiritual, mental health, support for anybody that needs it. And, we have sacredministries.org. You can contact Sean or myself via email on that. YouTube channel, Sacred Ministries,
What's the email address for you guys?
ray.mcgraw@sacredministries.org.
Are you guys like a certain denomination or anything, or you're just Christian, like not denominational Christian?
Christ followers.
Yeah. Is there a difference between that and Christian or no?
So religion is, this is what you have to do. These are the rules you have to follow, and there's a chance you might get into heaven. Christ followers, this is what Christ did on the cross. Through God's grace, we're awarded into heaven.
Okay, so you're like religion without the accountability, basically. Does that sound right?
I mean, I guess that would be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm Catholic, so I like go to church, and then I go, obviously, if I do something wrong, I go to confession every week. I tell
Right.
my priest what I did. I say my repentance and stuff, and hopefully, I believe one day I have to earn the right to get into heaven. So, yeah, for sure. But that's just interesting. It's I think that's a cool approach for just saying, hey, look, I don't have the authority to tell you how or whether you can get in heaven or not. We just want you to know that there's a God, and then there's
Right.
that He loves us, and this is
Right. I mean, it's just the gospel is getting into theology and the doctrinal laws and things of that nature. Nobody's going to agree on everything.
Sure.
At some point, there's going to be, we don't agree on.
Sure, yeah.
But
Even like Catholic people that talk to other Catholics are like, well, I don't agree with this. I have a pope right now that like Catholics are normally very conservative, and he's like all about bringing homosexuals into the Catholic Church now, and it's like this is like unprecedented. Like half the church is divided of like, oh no, we don't want or we do want or whatever. So, so even like within certain faiths, you'll find that.
right. I mean, that's point blank. You're welcome to come here as you are. Again, like I said on the last podcast, you don't clean up in the wash tub
Sure.
and then get in the shower. You come to Jesus, He meets you right where you are, and whatever needs to be cleaned up, that's between you and Jesus, you and God, and you guys will take care of that together. That's not for anybody to tell you, you shouldn't be here, because none of us should be here. We don't deserve to be here.
Fair.
Period.
No,
I mean,
no argument for me on that one. Yeah. That's cool to say, like, yeah, no man is, whether you get into heaven or not, that's between you and God.
you and God,
Yeah.
and it's God's choice. And, I mean, you could say it's yours by accepting Christ, but there's no merit. There's nothing you can do to earn it.
Sure.
Nothing.
Well, like I said, the idea is, not everybody's going to jump right into bed with, every rule that falls under one religion or another, or one God or another. Obviously, there's multiple gods in the sense of multiple different people feel different opinions on a lot of different things. So I don't think when we get into this, that the idea is that we're only going to be there for certain people that want to be looking for a certain thing. I think the idea is just to have a conversation with people that may be going through a difficult time, and they don't have to feel out of place. They don't have to feel like there's nowhere to go. Because I believe in today's day and age, like, more men need to be there for other men when they're going through that hard time. And sometimes it's giving them a hard time, ruffle them up a little bit, joking with them. But at the same point in time, you got to be able to sit back and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe you need a little help. What can I do?
Right.
And the idea is that we can try to bring that to them.
And again, at the beginning of my sobriety, if it was based on Christ, it would have never happened. I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Well, and I think that's what scares a lot of people when they go to that, right?
Right.
Who do they turn to that's not going to force them to change everything about their life or everything they believe in or everything that their families taught them over the past? And, the first time that they get that, you talked about the very first time you walked into a church, Ray. But I mean, if you think about somebody that's coming off of, we talked about addiction, or somebody that's, just went through a divorce, they lost custody of their kids, and then you're going to go to a place that's going to sit there and tell you, like, this is God's plan. Like, who's that going to sit right with the first time you hear that versus the fact that, no, my wife cheated on me, left me, and I don't get to see my kids anymore because a court said that, so I think just being able to bring up those discussions and whatever they might be, and hopefully we'll get some people that want to be a part of it and go from there.
Absolutely. Sean's email is sean.mills@sacredministries.org.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. I think that more people should be accepting. That's something that I try to do myself too. Like, even though I belong to probably the most strict religious organization out there for the most part, at least in the Christian realm, that like, I have friends that maybe don't follow the same belief system that I do, but I don't. It's not my job to judge them for it. You know what I mean? So, there's God will judge them for what they're doing and how they live their life, and all I can do is try to point in the right direction. So,
Right.
that's it.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
All right. Well, hey, thanks you much for sharing that, guys. If you got anything else to add as we go on, I'm going to wrap this up here pretty soon, but we got another show that we're going to announce, and we're going to start this, I believe, this Wednesday. We're going to try and do it every Wednesday. We're partnering with our local gym here, and we're going to call it Workouts at the Warehouse on Guys Night. Right? I think Warehouse Workouts. Say that 3 times fast. And I'm excited to do that kind of with Nick, and we're going to, start out on a couch having some conversations, different, based off of different work routines, or we talked about, different things that guys don't realize and things like that. So why don't you share a little bit of information, Nick, on what you kind of hope to get out of it?
Yeah. Well, first off, before I do that, did you see the couch?
Yeah.
Does it remind you of a certain type of couch that you might find in the adult film industry?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say.
It looks like a gas.
Yeah.
I laughed so when I walked in there. I was like, "This is what we're gonna be setting up." Okay.
So it's funny because I got, like I said earlier, I got my haircut at the barber shop. I don't know if you've been to the barber shop yet.
I've not been actually to it, but I've looked in there. Yeah, it looks great.
Well, the waiting room's got a great leather couch in it that's like really classy. Like, you look like you should be sitting with your legs crossed, smoking a stogie, drinking your bourbon, talking to your guys. You're all in 3-piece suits. Like, it's legit. And then you sent that. I saw your Instagram last night or whatever it was. You sent a picture of the casting couch that looked like it was used in Debbie Does Dallas 300 different times. Like,
yeah.
All right, everybody's gonna practice on this couch first.
Yeah. And then you get to graduate to the nice couch.
Yeah. So hey, hopefully we can upgrade that couch after a few episodes.
That's we might need to, depending on what happens on it.
Don't forget to wipe it down.
Yeah. Bring some Clorox wipes. Yeah. No. So I think that it would be really productive. We can go train how to create the maximum hypertrophy. We can answer different questions, show people how to use different machines that maybe they haven't seen before. The cool thing about the warehouse gyms is they have such a unique a plethora of machines, you know, like just literally, I mean, especially the Worcester one, but Ida one's really nice, and so is Ashland in Ontario. But the Worcester warehouse, maybe we do episode down there one eventually or whatever too, where like it's basically a museum of workout equipment. It's really cool.
Yeah, Craig talked to me last week, and I was actually gonna go down there this morning and work out. He's like, dude, it's 350 feet from the front to the back.
Dude, yeah, it's like almost 30,000 square foot warehouse.
Yeah, it's essentially a football field.
Yeah, it was a roller skating rink before, like originally, and then the carpet place, National Carpet Mill Outlet,
Yeah.
they bought it and they were running their whole business out of there before they built that giant one over on 18. And then, but they put an addition on the back. So think about a roller skating rink with an addition on the back, and that's what it is. You know, it's
yeah, that's
massive.
insane.
It's got so much shit in it, and then he like just parks his Hummer on the inside, just because why the fuck not? You know,
Yeah,
he's got an H1. Yeah,
looks cool in all the pictures. and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that, you know, I would love to do an episode out there too. We do it in the back of the Humvee.
yeah, we can drive that
That's
thing
not-
around while we do it.
really terrible.
It came any worse than that couch.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Hummers and couches.
New name. Hummer on the couch. Yeah. Yeah. No. But yeah, we can. And if anybody has things that they want to see or something like that, and they want to comment about it, you know, by all means.
Dude, you know what? Here's a perfect example. And I know Dean's a big fan of the show. He's commenting right now. He just says, how can a skinny dude, you know, gain weight? Just when thinking about starting the gym after the holidays.
Yeah.
And I hear that so many times in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, just like, oh, you're lucky you have broad shoulders, or you're lucky you're built, you know, heavy or whatever. Like, I can't put on muscle, but I'm pretty sure skinny guys could get some muscle too.
Yeah, dude. I was originally a skinny guy. Like when I first started, like graduated high school, like 140 pounds.
You don't got a lot to kick it, bro.
Yeah, I swear to God, dude. I swear to God, I went from a skinny guy to a fat guy, and I was really
No,
in good shape in between.
I think you meant about graduating high school.
Yeah. Say that loosely. No, I actually graduated with honors. Pretty good.
Wow, look
Yeah.
at
But anyways, so you can definitely build muscle if you're a slimmer guy. A lot of it comes down to optimizing your digestion and eating. Like you have to eat and you have to train like an animal, and then you'll grow. I mean, it's most of the time they're maybe not eating enough or not eating calorically dense food. If I have people that really have a fast metabolism, we try to slow it down a little bit. I might give them things like pasta for a carb source because it's a little bit harder to digest. It takes longer. I have a little bit more fibrous carbs in there to be able to slow down the digestion. So a little bit higher fat content. That's another thing too. Like the simple version of it is the more calories you eat, if you eat in a surplus, you'll gain weight. If you eat in a deficit, you lose weight. So how do you get in a surplus if your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, is super high? Well, you have to eat a lot of calories. What has the most calories in it? Healthy fats. So peanut butter, avocados,
Donuts.
donuts do, but I would not suggest donuts. Don't stay away. Like, I mean, you'll gain weight, but maybe not the way you want it to. But yeah, I mean, I still advocate for clean food because you'll get actual nutrients that build muscle that way.
Sure.
So,
But that's a great point. You know, obviously the questions like that are hopefully ones that we'll be able to field. And, you know, we talked about, you know, what are the top 3 exercises for bulking up? What are the top ways to lean out? What is the prepare for a show or to do your first competition or whatever the case people want to ask? I think just have an idea of like, hey, we're going to go live every Wednesday night is the plan. You know, obviously things will change. We might not be able to do Wednesdays some weeks or whatever, but hopefully we can at least get together a couple of times a month, 2, 3, 4 times a month. Because I think there's a lot of information that's out there. And the other idea is we're going to be in a gym house that's packed full of knowledgeable people. Like there's no shortage of dudes in that gym that work out. Like I think I said it last night when the show, like since I've been at that gym, like I've had to up my game. Like I have to make sure that I'm like not half-assing it when I'm in there.
dude, people train, dude.
Yeah,
it's
and
good.
you want to be in there because you won't want to be the smallest guy in that room. And you know, so we've got quite a few, you know, people that compete on the local and the national stage in there. So, you know, having them sit there and talk about stuff that they've done or they've struggled with, or the thing that they had to battle off. You know, we talked about with the guys last night, what they had to go through in order to get back on track, and different surgeries and things like that too, that take part. So
Sure.
I think there's a lot of good information. And for those that are watching now or watching later, whenever they see this, there may be some technical difficulties. We attempt to stabilize the beginning of the conversation while going mobile through the gym to maybe even demonstrate some exercises and stuff like that on the way. So be patient. I'm producing all at the same time right now, and it's a little harder than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that would be great. Yeah, I do like that atmosphere. Like gyms that have people. I like being not the biggest guy in the gym. Like that's one of my favorite things because you might be bigger than me, but you won't outwork me. And like that's my mentality. And I know those dudes that got big, like they had to work hard to get that way. So, and I know they're training hard. So when I see somebody over there training, I mean, we were just talking about Carly Fauci, who's there. She's an IFBB pro, physique competitor, Olympian. Like she's crazy. She outtrains probably any dude in that gym.
Dude, my wife went to school with her, and I swear she showed me a video or something one time with her like doing Bulgarian squats with like 80-pound dumbbells. Dude, I was like, that is like,
yeah, probably more now.
Yeah, it might have been hundreds. I can't remember the exact scenario, but I was like, dude, that is fucking insane.
Dude, I've seen her. I think 4 or 5 plates on a Smith squat or I don't remember Smith or free bar, but like she can squat probably 500 pounds, 4 or 500 pounds, most with perfect form also, and for reps. So it's not like she's one one rep maxing it. She's training it for hypertrophy. So yeah, I remember I seen her in Accelerated a couple years back when I was like just starting to get into bodybuilding, and I would always like she'd be training legs and they were huge, they're way bigger than mine. Like, fuck, dude. I can't wear shorts for this chicks here, dude. Like I want to be showing up, but it was motivating. It was motivating me even as a female. Like I shouldn't say even as a female, but as a female, motivating me. Like, man, I have to work harder. And even seeing her today, like she was training hard, and I'm like, all right, well, come on, my training partner Dustin. I'm like, we got to go. You know what I mean? Like, can't be outworked today. And she came up to us afterwards. She's like, are you guys competing? I'm like, yeah, cool. She must have noticed we were training hard. So
Yeah,
fingers crossed at least. But,
yeah. So awesome. All right. Well, I don't have a whole lot more to add. Just stay tuned. We'll make sure that we're putting the stuff out there, and we'll put some alerts out there so that information gets in front of you guys that are following. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends, share as much as you can. We would appreciate it. On that note, we'll get prepared to end here. But David, you want to talk a little bit more about that cowboy hat that you're wearing? We're going to have something a little special for the people watching.
I should have put the other hat on first because like that, it's like a visual thing here. Right?
Yeah, well, you put it on top maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Hold on here. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it. Wait. We'll stuff it back in the box and just pretend that
Oh, we're gonna do a live unboxing of the hat that was already unboxed.
I wonder what's in there.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So if you're watching this,
I bet
right now live,
I bet it's
just,
a bowling alley.
We'll just edit this part out or something.
Yeah.
But,
Jack in a box.
I like the reference earlier with what's in the box. Anybody get that
Right.
from 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No hands.
So, I'm a cowboy hat guy, but one of the things that's not convenient is, trying to get these on, over
Yeah, it's a struggle.
the hat, and
Life's real.
this right here probably looks really stupid. I'm imagining that's not working either. So anyway, I found a way to wear a cowboy hat. Just get rid of that. Just get rid of that cheap $400 hat I just threw on the floor. So I present to you the cowboy hat.
The not $400 hat.
The not $400 cowboy hat here.
$40.
Probably somewhere around there. Yeah. Now this was sent from our friends down in Louisiana here at Cowboy Revolution Apparel. So check them out online. We'll have a discount code that's going to be assigned to us. So for right now, email us and we'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll put the email in the comments, guys. Just please support at guysnight.com. But yeah, if you're interested in those hats, interested in saving yourself a little bit of money, and supporting the show in one way or form, and then also make sure you check out the Guys Night. That's KNIGHT up there somewhere. .com, and look at some of our merches. We're about to release a big line of some stuff coming up over the next week that I'm excited about, that we've been developing too, because obviously we want to support others. You might have seen me wearing the all-in hat the other day from some people around.
That was slick, actually.
Yeah, that was one of
who makes that?
that was it's a supplement company. I want to say Mammoth is the name name of it. They were giving away at UXL, and one of my buddies snagged one. He's like, "Hey, do you want this hat?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Man, it's actually a really cool design hat. I might steal some of this."
I like the on the under of the brim. It has like a design on it. I thought
Yeah,
cool.
it was like where it was like a bunch of letters were like blocked off, like kind of graffiti underneath it. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
was cool.
and if anybody else has merch that they want to us to share and pitch and stuff like that, we're happy to accept it. Not just because we like free stuff, but also because when you see somebody that does something cool, why not share it with the world? Give people an opportunity to check it out and go from there. So that's all I've got for tonight. Anybody else got anything to add? No.
Nope.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you in the upcoming days with the new live streams. And the stream.
End stream.
End stream.
Did it record?